Welcome to today's Catholic Daily Readings from Christus Dominus Bread of Life. A reading from the first book of Samuel. And it happened that in those days the Philistines assembled to fight. And Israel went out to meet the Philistines in battle, and he made camp beside the stone of assistance. But the Philistines went to Aphek, and they positioned their troops against Israel. Then when the conflict began, Israel turned his back to the Philistines. And they were cut down in that conflict, in various places in the fields, about 4,000 men. And the people returned to the camp, and those greater by birth of Israel said, "Why has the Lord struck us today before the Philistines? Let us bring to ourselves the ark of the covenant of the Lord from Shiloh, and let it enter into our midst, so that it may save us from the hand of our enemies." Therefore the people sent to Shiloh, and they brought from there the ark of the covenant of the Lord of hosts, sitting upon the cherubim. And the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were with the ark of the covenant of God. And when the ark of the covenant of the Lord had arrived in the camp, all of Israel shouted with a great clamor, and the land resounded. And the Philistines heard the voice of the clamor, and they said, "What is this voice of a great clamor in the camp of the Hebrews?" And they realized that the ark of the Lord had arrived in the camp, and the Philistines were afraid, saying, "God has entered into the camp." And they groaned, saying, "Woe to us, for there was no such great exultation yesterday or the day before. Woe to us, who will save us from the hand of these sublime gods? These are the gods who struck Egypt with all the plagues in the desert. Be strengthened and be manly, O Philistines. Otherwise you may serve the Hebrews as they also have served you. Be strengthened and wage war." Therefore the Philistines fought, and Israel was cut down, and each one fled to his own tent. And an exceedingly great slaughter occurred, and 30,000 foot soldiers from Israel fell, and the ark of God was captured. Also the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, died.
We marched with your name on our lips, but you did not go with our armies. We fled from our enemies. We were plundered and left in the dust. We were your people, once called blessed. Now we are mocked by every nation. Our neighbors spit our name in scorn. We have become a song of shame. Why do you hide your face from us? Why do you forget our oppression? Our prayers fall into the silence. Our cries echo unanswered. We do not ask for what we deserve. We do not claim righteousness. We only beg for what you are, merciful, faithfulness. mercy. Redeem us, Lord, because of your mercy. We have no strength left to stand. We have no hope but your name. Redeem us, Lord, because of your mercy. We brought you into battle as a symbol, but we forgot you are not a weapon. We carried the ark but lost your presence. We honored your things but not your voice. Redeem us, Lord, because of your mercy. Yet you touch the unclean. You kneel in the dust with the broken. You are not far from our ruin. You are not afraid of our shame. You stretch out your hand to our wounds. You do not recoil from our filth. If you are willing, we will be healed. If you are willing, we will live. Redeem us, Lord, because of your mercy. Redeem us, Lord, because of your mercy. Not by our strength for our name, but by the mercy that saves. Redeem us, Lord, because of your mercy. Redeem us because of your mercy. Redeem us. Redeem us because of your mercy.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. And a leper came to him, begging him, and kneeling down, he said to him, "If you are willing, you are able to cleanse me." Then Jesus, taking pity on him, reached out his hand, and touching him, he said to him, "I am willing, be cleansed." And after he had spoken, immediately the leprosy departed from him, and he was cleansed. And he admonished him, and he promptly sent him away. And he said to him, "See to it that you tell no one, but go and show yourself to the high priest, and offer for your cleansing that which Moses instructed, as a testimony for them." But having departed, he began to preach and to disseminate the word, so that he was no longer able to openly enter a city, but had to remain outside in deserted places. And they were gathered to him from every direction. Join us for today's reflection. There is a moment in the spiritual life that nobody warns you about, the moment when you do everything right and it still goes wrong. You bring God into the situation, you trust the process, you show up with faith, and somehow the outcome is worse than when you started. If that has ever happened to you, if you have ever been blindsided by failure after doing exactly what you thought God wanted, then today's readings are speaking directly into that confusion. The Israelites in the first reading are getting destroyed by the Philistines, so they come up with what seems like a brilliant spiritual strategy. They decide to bring the Ark of the Covenant into battle. This is not some random religious artifact we are talking about. This is the most sacred object in all of Israel, the golden chest that represents the very presence of God, the throne between the cherubim where God himself was said to dwell. When the ark arrives at the Israelite camp, the soldiers erupt in such a thunderous shout that the ground shakes. Even the Philistines are terrified. They have heard the stories about this God, about the plagues in Egypt, about the drowning of Pharaoh's army. They know they are in trouble. And then something impossible happens. Israel loses anyway. 30,000 soldiers are slaughtered, and the ark itself is captured by the enemy. The very presence of God is now in pagan hands, and Eli's two corrupt sons Hophni and Phinehas die on the same day, just as the prophet had warned. Everything that could go wrong went wrong, and it happened precisely when Israel thought they had God on their side. Here is the uncomfortable truth that this story exposes. The Israelites were not seeking God. They were using God. There is a massive difference between those two things, and most of us do not realize which one we are actually doing until our strategy fails. The elders did not ask the Lord whether they should bring the ark into battle. They did not repent of the corruption that had infected the priesthood through Hophni and Phinehas, who had been stealing from the sacrifices and sleeping with women at the entrance of the tent of meeting. They simply grabbed the most powerful religious symbol they could find and expected it to function like a weapon, like a good luck charm, like a guarantee. This is the danger of religion without relationship. You can have all the right symbols, all the correct practices, all the proper words, and still miss God entirely because you have confused his presence with his power, his person with his usefulness. The Philistines were pagans, but at least they were terrified of an actual God. The Israelites had reduced the living God to a strategy. The psalm today captures the emotional aftermath of this kind of spiritual devastation. Rise up and help us, redeem us because of your mercy. Why do you hide your face and forget our misery and oppression? This is the prayer of someone who has hit rock bottom and finally stopped trying to manipulate their way out. There is no bargaining here, no attempt to leverage religious performance. There is only raw honesty and a plea for mercy, not because of what they have done, but because of who God is. And then the gospel gives us the other side of this equation, someone who comes to Jesus with nothing to offer at all. A leper falls on his knees and says something remarkable. If you are willing, you can make me clean. Notice what he does not say. He does not claim to deserve healing. He does not present a resume of religious faithfulness. He does not try to manipulate Jesus with flattery or promises. He simply acknowledges two things. Jesus has the power, and everything depends on whether Jesus wants to use it. This man understood something the Israelites completely missed. You cannot manipulate God into showing up. You cannot force his hand with religious performance or sacred objects or strategic positioning. All you can do is kneel in your brokenness and ask, and then trust that his willingness flows from who he is, not from what you have earned. Jesus reaches out and touches the untouchable man, which would have made Jesus ritually unclean according to the law. But here is the stunning reversal. Instead of Jesus becoming contaminated by the leper's uncleanness, the leper becomes clean through Jesus' touch. This is the gospel in miniature. We do not make ourselves presentable and then approach God. We approach God in our contamination, and he makes us clean, not because we have found the right formula, but because he is willing. The tragedy of Israel at Ebenezer was not that they lost the battle. The tragedy is that they had spent so long treating God like a tool that they had forgotten how to actually encounter him. They brought the ark expecting it to work automatically, like inserting a coin into a vending machine. They got religion but missed revelation. They had the symbol of God's presence but not the reality of his presence, because you cannot have the reality when you are only interested in what you can get from it. So here is the question that matters. When you pray, when you go to Mass, when you bring your faith into your struggles, are you seeking God or using God? Are you kneeling before him in honest need, Or are you carrying him like a strategy into your battles, expecting results because you showed up with the right equipment? The leper got healed because he came with empty hands and an honest heart. Israel got devastated because they came with the holiest object in existence and hearts that had never actually surrendered. God cannot be manipulated. He can only be trusted. And the difference between those two approaches will determine everything about how you experience him in your darkest moments.